Hi guys, I hope you're well. This is a revision video for week 3. What we studied was consumer behavior. So let's see what this is about. So the outline of this chapter is we're going to understand the key dimensions of customer behavior. We're going to explain the roles involved in the buying decisions and compare and contrast different theories, understand the differences between consumer and organizational buying behavior, analyze the main influence on consumer behavior. So what kind of things influence the behavior, and develop a better understanding of one's own consumption choices. So there's two main types of consumers. There's private consumers that they buy stuff for their own personal use or for their house or for people that they know. And then there's organizational. So they buy, so they consume, they purchase things for their business or organization. It could be in terms of raw material, it could be to use in the office, or it could be wholesalers who are buying products just to sell them, resell them. So there's basically two main types of consumers. And from these type of consumers, the sales transaction, the purchase could be business to business, it could be business to consumer, it could be consumer to business, consumer to consumer. So for example, consumer to consumer example could be when we buy something and then we sell it on Vinted or eBay. So that's consumer to consumer. There's consumer to business, business to government, government to business, government to citizen. So there's all these different types of customers and transactions and purchases that are happening. And now we're going to try and understand customers. So who is important? What are their choices? What criteria, what things do customers look at when they're making that decision to buy? When do they buy? Where do they buy? And how do they buy? We're going to look at all these things together now. Who buys? So there's 5 different types of people who are involved in the process of buying. There's an initiator. So that's the person who begins the process of considering a purchase. So this person will gather some information, and this information will help in the ultimate decision of buying. Then there's the influencer, the person who attempts to persuade others in the group concerning the outcome of the decision. Influencers typically gather information and attempt to impose their choice criteria on decision. So influencer could be someone for example, if a group of 5 friends are deciding where to eat, influencer would be the person who's saying, let's go to this particular place on Ladypool Road, and I assure you guys it's a good place, we should go there. That person is the influencer. So that person is persuading the others in the group to join their decision. There's the decider, the individual with power or financial authority to make the ultimate choice. So for example, if one of your younger cousins comes, or brothers and sisters, comes up to you and says, can you please buy me that toy? You are the decider. You are the person that has the financial power to buy it. So you have the authority. Then there's the buyer, the person who actually conducts the transaction. And the buyer calls the supplier, visits the store, makes the payment, and effects the delivery. So the buyer doesn't have to be the person who's using it. It could be, for example, if my friend's not feeling well and she's asked me to go get her medicine, I could be the buyer, but the product isn't for me, it's for my friend. And then there's the user. So in that scenario, my friend would be the user because she's the one who's actually using the product. Is it ethical to market to children? That's something I want you guys to think about. Influencing on buyer behavior. Okay, let's look at types of customers. There's extended problem solving. That is when the purchase decision is a big decision. So the person buying needs to do extended problem solving. They need to look at all the options they have. They need to look at resources. They need to research. They need to take time. So for example, the university that you want to study in, the car you want to buy, the house you want to buy, those are extended problem solving decision. Limited problem solving is something on a smaller scale. So maybe where you want to go on holiday or where you want to go out for the weekend. You're still gathering information, you're still analyzing the options, but it doesn't take that long. Habitual problem solving is just, for example, if you get your groceries every month from Tesco and you buy Tesco brand milk, that's a habit that you have. So it's habitual problem solving. You're just buying milk from Tesco because you're you're in a habit of doing it. And then there's variety seeking behavior. So some people, they get bored of doing buying the same things. So then they look out for variety. Okay, I've already tried this. Let's see what else is available. So these are 4 different types of consumer decisions. If we see the slide, the decision-making process is different for individuals than it is for organizations. For organizations, it's longer. But for consumers, for individuals, they recognize that there's a problem, they have a need. So for example, I realize I'm thirsty. So I feel like I'm thirsty. That's my need recognition. Then I will look around and I'll try to see, okay, what do I have to drink? That's information search. Maybe I'll go in the shop and see what options I have. Then evaluation of alternatives. So I can find an energy drink, a water, a juice. I'll try to think of in my head, okay, which one do I want to have right now? Oh, the energy drink has a lot of calories. I should just have water. Or maybe I feel like having a fizzy drink. So that's evaluation of alternatives. Then purchase. So I go up to the counter, actually buy something. And post-purchase evaluation of decision. So if I ended up buying water, when I drink it, I might feel like, no, I would have done better with the energy drink. Or I might feel like, okay, that's what I needed. So that is the post-evaluation decision. But same way, it's a bit longer for organizations because there's a lot more steps involved. But that is something you guys can look into. And like we said, so first, the problem is being recognized. I'm hungry. Then you're searching for information, what's available. Then you evaluate cakes or chocolates. Then you make a decision. I want chocolate. And after you have chocolate at the end, you're like, oh, I should have had cake. So, or maybe you were satisfied with the chocolate that you had. Okay. With organizations, they recognize the problem. Then, for example, if you're working at a company and they've run out of printing paper, they will recognize, okay, we need printing paper. Then they will determine, okay, how much printing paper do we use a month? Then they will look for qualification or sources. So they'll see, okay, where can we buy it? It could be a straightforward buying process, or maybe your company could get proposals for companies for contracts so they could send you printing paper every month. Then you evaluate which one of the suppliers you want to deal with, and then you select the routine of an order. So do you want it every month? Do you want it every 2 months? Do you want it every 6 months? And then there's performance and feedback. So then you see, okay, how well was my purchase? And then you evaluate. Okay, and then there's choice criteria. There's different types of things that people base their decisions on. So there's technical performance, reliability, durability, performance. They could be personal. So what kind of image would the brand image, would it go with the self-image of the person? Does it agree with their morals and emotions? There could be the economic price, and it could be the social status, belonging, convention, and fashion. So all these attributes used when people evaluate alternatives. Okay, and then there's the influence of personal buying behavior. So personal influences could include information processing, so how someone processes information, their motivation and values, their beliefs, their personality, their lifestyles, and social influences that are from the outside that could include culture, social classes, reference groups, means the people that you refer to, so your friends or people that you interact with, that their opinion matters to you. Okay, let's look at Maslow's hierarchy of needs. So Maslow said that there's a hierarchy of needs, the pyramid, and it starts from basic needs. So in the beginning, humans try to fulfill their basic physiological need, which is food, water, warmth. Then once they fulfilled that, then they move to the next step. Then they move up in the pyramid. So if someone doesn't have food, they're not going to look for security or friendships or feeling of accomplishment. So these needs are all step by step. So once you fulfill one block, then you move to the next one. So the basic needs are physiological needs and safety needs. Then there's psychological needs, which are belongingness and love, esteem needs. So you need to feel that you've accomplished something. And then finally, once you've achieved the basic and psychological needs, then you move on to self-fulfillment needs, which is achieving one's full potential, including creative activities. So this is Maslow's hierarchy of needs. This is all for this revision lecture of consumer behavior. In case you guys have any questions, please feel free to email me.